great. I am so happy that you're here. You look amazing. It's
Thank
funny.
you.
Right before the show started, I told our producer, I said, okay, Larissa's coming. I said, I already know she's going to be like extra fabulous. She's going to be serving. I don't know what she's going to wear, but I know it's going to be amazing. So thank you for showing up and showing out, because I
Thank
am
you.
living for the whole ensemble.
Thank you. Yeah, you know me, I'm a thrifter.
Yes.
I found this at Goodwill.
You
I love
know,
Goodwill. I love sustainability.
and we've had a couple of shows about sustainability, and, I've had fashion designers talk about, their approach toward their business. So that's definitely something I want to talk about more as we get into the interview. But first, I always forget to do this. I have to tell everyone who we are. So thank you all for joining us. Or if you're not joining us now and you join us later, I just want to let everyone know that we are VodPod Media. And VodPod Media is located in the heart of the east side of San Antonio, close to downtown. We are a Black-owned media production company serving the Black and brown communities of San Antonio, which is so important. Representation is everything. So thank you for joining us. And so now back to Larissa. Okay, so we have a little bit of a tradition here at the I was going to say at the store, because now I'm thinking about thrifting, not at the store. At the studio. And I always just like to ask each guest to briefly tell us a little bit about their name. So Larissa isn't as common. We hear a lot of Melissas, Lauren, but not Larissa. So were you named after someone in your family, or?
From what I recall, I believe Mom found my name in the Bible.
Okay.
I think so. Other than that, I don't know too much about the origin of my name. I know she was playing with a few, like even like a Belissa or something interesting like that. But Larissa makes sense. I'm triple L, Larissa Leath-Huang.
We live for alliteration here.
I love alliteration. Yeah.
I'm all about it. It makes things flow. Yes. Well, and so I'm assuming that if your mother named you a Bible name, that you probably grew up in like a family where faith was
absolutely
important.
We're Christian. Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. A very strict Christian household.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So did you grow up in San Antonio? Are you Texan or?
I'm from everywhere. So I was actually born in Madrid, Spain.
Oh, okay.
Yes, my dad was a Thunderbird.
Okay.
So we were stationed in Madrid for a bit, and then we bounced around. We were in Las Vegas, and then we moved here, and we've been here the longest. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, everyone, I think because we're a military city, most people probably know what a Thunderbird is, but some may not. So do you want to share just a little tidbit?
It's like a crew, like a plane crew. Like
right.
It's a terrible description.
No, it's okay.
But they put on a lot of the shows, like the Thunderbirds, the Blue Angels, a lot of the air shows. Yeah, and he was one of the crew chiefs for the Thunderbirds. Yeah, did a lot of mechanics.
Yeah,
it was really neat growing up on base and being able to go and take pictures with the planes and just kind of be around that really good camaraderie with the military.
Yeah. And it's like a part of American history, really, when you think about it. Like every 4th of July, there's a huge, not presentation, what is it called? Celebration. Yeah, but the Thunderbirds are like an integral part of, even during like election season, there's certain inauguration. So that's
very
cool.
proud. I'm very proud of that.
Yeah, very cool. Now, do you remember living in Madrid? Do you have memories, or did you leave when you were really young?
My brother does. He's older.
Right.
But I really don't. But it's cool to say, like, I was born in Spain.
Yeah. No, that is.
Do you speak Spanish? Not quite.
No. Poquito. No.
Yeah, just a little bit. Right. Yeah.
So right before the show, when I interviewed you, when I invited you to the show, I thought it was so cool that you have this company, the Floral Standard, that makes these beautiful artistic installations and presentations, and you do all sorts of floral design, and then you have this company that you have just launched. But I just realized that you are, I guess you could say by trade, or that your day job is as a respiratory therapist.
Yes, it's true. Yeah.
So how did you get into that?
So I grew up with asthma as a kid. Yeah, a lot of issues with asthma, a few hospitalizations, and it was my way of giving back, being a respiratory therapist, because you're literally front line, the ER, the ICU. You're a very important part of the hospitals. I mean, we literally are the life support of the hospitals. It's unfortunate, respiratory therapists, we do not get the recognition we deserve. we go to college 4 years. I have I have my master's degree actually, and it's a lot of education behind it. And literally, like I said, we are the life support of the hospital. I absolutely love it. It's very rewarding. I have moved into more of a marketing strategic initiatives role, but I'm still active. And of course, with the pandemic, I'm always there if they need me.
I wanted to touch on that. Like the pandemic, like shook all of us, like to the core. But I think it's one thing to be a layman citizen and not be in the medical field and see and hear what's going on, but then to be frontline. Is it okay if I ask, like, how did that affect you?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And I was just listening to NPR last week. Mental health and healthcare professionals. Nobody talks about it. Yeah. And that's important too. So my husband and I, he's a critical care nurse. And me being a respiratory therapist, we saw a lot. We didn't even see each other. And we were newlyweds at the time. Oh. So we were married, and then the lockdown happened.
What?
We had just flown back from our honeymoon. So he couldn't go back to work. They wouldn't let him go back to work for like 1 or 2 weeks because we were all still trying to figure out what COVID is and, like, what is it? How does this virus spread? All that stuff. And I went straight back to work, but he was at home. We didn't get sick. We didn't get COVID. But, it hit us hard and it hit us fast. And you were talking, oh, my goodness. I think we were working like 60, 80-hour weeks. It was nonstop. And moving patients from different hospitals to get the appropriate level of care. And even still, you see a lot of long-term COVID patients or like long haulers. Yeah. It's a very bizarre and a very bad disease. Yeah. But it was hard. And I think it's important that hopefully employers start paying attention to their employees in the healthcare field and really checking in on them. They were so, generally speaking, focused on we have employees and they need to meet this need for the community, but not really concerned about the employees. And people committed suicide. People just up and left and quit. And you have people still struggling with the depression and the anxiety just working in the field at that time. Yeah, it was not good.
Yeah, no, I have several family members who are nurses, doctors, and I've talked to some of them. Hi, Aaliyah. About just how intense it was. And I do think it's really important that we express gratitude. So I'll just say thank you.
That's what I signed up for.
Yeah, but even when you sign up for it, it's just nice for someone to acknowledge, because I didn't realize that until I was like looking for a headshot for you. And I'm like going through your Facebook and I'm like, wait, what is she doing there? What is that? That's not flowers, So it's interesting that is your day job or that is your role as a professional during one part of your life. Right. And then you have like way on this end of the spectrum, what some people would consider night and day. Definitely. I love that you described yourself as a neoteric bridal visionary.
I have these ideas.
I love it though, because highly creative people can't always be described like, oh, you're not a florist.
No. I'm not a wedding planner.
You're not right. So let's start with your first company. I've seen your work. So everyone right now, if you're watching, just Google the floral standard because that's what we're going to talk about. And just put the tab on images so you can see some of these images. How did you get into the floral standard? Like what was the genesis point of that?
Right. So I was getting married. I wanted a flower wall. And I could not find, at the time I couldn't, maybe I wasn't really looking, I don't know, but I couldn't find anyone in San Antonio that build flower
nice
walls.
Ones.
So that's the thing, nice ones. Like mine are niche, they're all individual florals. We do fresh, we do silk. Right. They're not the mats that you roll out. Right. So I couldn't find anything. Yeah. And I said, okay, I'm going to make one myself. And it's an investment. Yes. And because it was an investment, I knew I needed to turn it into a business. I also knew that other folks would be looking for the same thing, which is true because obviously I have rentals, right? People are renting,
Right.
so that's how it started. Yeah, from my wedding, literally just like that.
Well, and the reason I said nice ones, like there was no shade intended to anyone else that is doing flower walls,
Sure.
but I feel like at this point I can identify your work.
Mm-hmm.
It's very lush, it's very opulent, and it looks, when I say rich, I don't mean money. It looks rich, like texturally.
Yeah, and that texture is important to give, especially if it's the silk. It looks organic, and that's what I want. I don't want any of the walls to look like they're fake or silk or faux. Like I want them to look organic.
Yeah, and they do. I was just showing your work to a makeup artist. I had an event to go to a couple of weekends ago, and I was showing her your work, and she was like, "Oh wow, these are some of the most beautiful I've ever seen." So how do you decide? Well, let me back it up. How do you design your walls in terms of, like, do you start out sketching? Do you just dream them up? I mean, because creative people, ideas come to us in a myriad ways.
Right,
so how does that come to you?
For me, I literally open up a couple of catalogs. So I have some accounts with some wholesalers, and then I go to Dallas because there's this huge flower show that happens in Dallas, and I have to see it, and that's just how I am. Like in real life, when I go to the store, I may not know what I'm looking for, but I know it when I see it, and that's how it is with the flowers. Like I know it when I see it, and then I will create around that actual floral. Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. I can see that. Yeah. So how many years have you been? So I guess you're still technically kind of a newlywed. So you've been married 3 years now?
Yeah. 3 or 4, something like that.
Yeah. So you basically got married and started your company kind of at the same time. So it's a little bit of overachiever in there. We love it.
It wasn't on purpose, but you know.
Right. You're like, I just fell into this business.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but there's something to be said for that, because I think a lot of times people have any big occasion. It could be like a wedding, it can be an anniversary, and you just cannot find what you need. What a lot of us end up doing is settling. You did the exact opposite.
Yeah, I wasn't going to settle for that.
Right.
Yeah, not for the flower wall. It's really important. It's a focal point in any event. I couldn't settle for that.
Yeah. So you've been doing that for 3 years, and then you decided, I'm going to start another business.
Yes, and it's all under the Floral Standard. So the mother company is the Floral Standard, and the Ultimate Wedding Experience is a DBA under the Floral Standard, and we are an LLC.
Okay.
And full transparency, I am so appreciative of the platform that I have with the Floral Standard, because it gave me a little bit of a reputation in San Antonio.
Yeah, absolutely.
And some really great relationships with wedding vendors in the industry. And I've done a couple of wedding shows. But then I realized, you know, if you don't like something, you can introduce something new and you can create your own system. And the wedding shows absolutely have a place in San Antonio. I wanted something more personalized for the vendor and for the client. There's a lot of folks that it's overwhelming. You know, you go to the convention center and there's like 100+ vendors, but there's like...
And they're all trying to pass you things and make you like...
And you're like, oh my God. And then everything kind of starts blending, and then everyone looks the same, and then you go home and you don't remember, I love this florist, but which one was it? I don't know. And it's expensive as a vendor to book a booth at a wedding show.
Right.
We're talking big money.
Yeah.
And you don't always get bookings or enough bookings, and you want a return on your investment. And it's difficult sometimes. A lot of vendors have voiced that to me. We've had these conversations. And so one way to solve that problem is the Ultimate Wedding Experience. And so, like I said, it's personalized for both the client and the vendor, and it's cost effective. And it's not just you're paying for a space. You are now on the website. I'm marketing for you. I'm plugging you into style shoots. Like I'm doing anything I possibly can. And I wanted to take it many steps further than just pay me for this booth and that's it.
Yeah.
They deserve more. And that's what it is. And we're building it. We just started building this in August. And I really think with all the feedback I've received, I am on the right track.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that positive feedback because I know I did the right thing. Yeah.
Well, I love, I always say I'm never afraid of correction. And you gave me some like loving correction. I posted, I appreciate this. And I think that there was something in that I recognize, because during Black Friday, I'm posting local businesses that are having sales. And so I misnamed yours and I said, the Ultimate Wedding Expo. And then you were so sweet. You were like, excuse me. You're like, it's not the Ultimate Wedding Expo. It's the Ultimate Wedding Experience. First of all, I appreciate that correction because I, don't want to send people to some other business. Right. But also, what you're speaking to, there's such a huge difference between any kind of expo and an experience.
Right. And we're immersive. So the Ultimate Wedding Experience is a full-scale wedding. It's a full-scale wedding. So the clients get to come in and literally immerse themselves and walk through a traditional, modern wedding timeline.
Right.
You're going to be fed. I mean, we're talking food, specialty drinks. Like, we've curated these menus. Yeah. The cake, that's a surprise, but the cake is going to be amazing.
It's beyond, I already know it.
Yeah, right. And so, I mean, we're literally bringing an elite bridal affair to San Antonio.
Yeah.
And then, of course, knowing me, like, I want to take it another step further. So, yes, we're an event, but we're a platform, we're a brand, and we're a brand that gives back to the community, right? We've hooked up with Angie's Angels Foundation.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so a portion of the proceeds will go to Angie's Angels Foundation.
Okay.
And we're going to give away a vow renewal as well. So your parents, your grandparents, I want everyone to submit, email me, send me a photo. Like, we want to look through everything, and I'd love to fit in as many as possible.
Yeah.
But we do have a private space set aside so they could have that vow renewal. Yeah, we have to give back to the community, and that's who I am. That's what I want to do. I think that's what all platforms and brands should do. If I could fit in like a micro wedding, I would. I'm not sure who'd be interested in getting married.
Oh, trust me, somebody would take you up on it. Yeah, someone would, just because a lot of people are so overwhelmed and stressed that they don't want to deal with like the minutia of a million little decisions, and they would totally just like throw on a dress and show up.
Yeah, I might throw that out there then on Monday and see. Today we just posted the vow renewal, and then I think I'll take a temperature check to see about the micro wedding at the event.
Right.
But we're a website, a wedding planning website online. We're a blog. I started the blog last week.
Yeah.
We're gonna host. I cannot wait. We're gonna
tell us about the venue, because when I saw the venue, I was like, yes.
The Witty, yeah. And I'm glad it's the Witty, because the Witty's a staple in the San Antonio community, and everyone knows the Witty.
Yeah.
And they of course have weddings there. I think their weddings are phenomenal. I thought the Witty would be the perfect place, and I was so glad that they agreed to host us there. And we're going to be in the Mays Family Center and the Zachary Gardens, and we have a lot in store for you guys. Yeah.
But I think too, like I've been in San Antonio a while now, over 20 years, off and on. I keep escaping and coming back. But it's amazing how many people haven't been to the Witty. So this would actually even be a great introduction, because a lot of people just know that it's like this interesting looking building kind of down off of Broadway. Right. So I think that it's wonderful that you're having this there instead of them going to like a convention center or an expo hall or some, hotel or something. Nothing is wrong with any of those, but to actually have the event in a place where people do favor getting married. Yeah, I think that's really dope. It's going to be beautiful.
It is. I'm excited. I have some great surprises in store, and we have some great sponsors and great giveaways, and I'm just I'm in a good way with all the support. Yeah.
I almost want to get married, but not really. I'm like, this sounds amazing. So I have a question to ask you about, obviously you're a Black woman. And this is not an industry where you see, and we can stay as topical and surface as you want, or we can go beneath the layers.
I'm very proud of my Blackness. Yeah.
Yes, but in this industry, I haven't seen very many Black women, specifically in Texas, I'll say. Maybe when you get more on like the East Coast or Atlanta.
Right. Texas is different.
Yeah. So what does it look like for you as a Black woman navigating these spaces and doing this work? Have you had some challenges?
Absolutely. Yeah. Not everyone was excited to hear that I was starting this, but no one else is doing it. This is something brand new being introduced into the San Antonio community. I've had some challenges, but it's fine, and it doesn't
it's
matter.
Not going to stop you.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. It's not going to stop me. But
it is what it is.
It is what it is. So we keep on trucking.
Yeah.
And you know what? They're going to see that the event is a success. And you can either, be a part of it or not, but stay over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and the reason why I ask is because, this show, I don't think it's a secret either, that I interview Black women on the show. That's specifically who I want to talk to and hear from. And I think it's really important when someone that looks like you sees you doing something that they think cannot be done. Yeah. Either they have like self-doubt in their own mind, or someone has literally said to them, you can't do that, or this is not the space for you.
Yeah. And, I've been hearing that not all my life, but a lot in my life, college, high school, even when I got into my career, asking older Caucasian men for tell me how you were able to get to this point. Well, go read a book. I have a master's degree. I've read a lot of books. I don't need to read another book. I need a mentor. And so it is important to see us in these types of spaces. That's another reason why I'm doing this, because once again, when you look at the wedding industry, you don't really see Black people, not even just vendors, but portrayed in weddings,
Oh, yeah.
The marketing.
Yeah.
I don't see people of color. You see a few, they're kind of peppered in.
Right.
Because they have to be. But they're not really there. And when I was planning my wedding, if I saw people of color, I absolutely booked you. If I didn't, you're not going to get my money. Right. And with this brand, we're all inclusive.
Absolutely.
But I definitely want to show the Black beauty in bridal, high fashion, haute couture, and the ultimate wedding experience is also where high fashion and bridal collide.
Yes.
And I mean that. We're having some dresses made, specifically designed for some shoots I have, and some other gorgeous pieces. And we're about to show out in February. Yeah. I'll be sending that information out soon.
And it's interesting because I actually, when I think about you and I think about your companies and your brand overall, I do think fashion. Yeah. You actually are deeply entrenched in the San Antonio fashion industry as well because of your work. There have been numerous fashion shows and other events.
Yeah, San Antonio needs it. And so they're doing a great job. They don't need to hear that from me, but they're doing a great job.
Yeah.
And San Antonio, we're so behind the curve. So many things. Education, medicine.
Everything.
Fashion. So, can we please get on the LA, New York, European level? And Texas fashion industry is definitely working towards that. And I'm definitely working towards adding that into bridal.
Yeah, it's another layer.
Bridal does not have to be just white gowns.
No, not at all.
So that's some foreshadowing, because bridal doesn't have to be white.
Right.
That's a very narrow.
That's a modern tradition.
Yeah.
It's a very modern.
Yeah. If you look at European and even Asian culture, my husband's Asian, so I know a little bit about the Asian culture. Right. And we're white.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just look at all these white dresses and they start looking the same. So.
Well, and I love that you brought up, so you are in a multicultural marriage, which is beautiful. And I love that you also were very purposeful and intentional in saying, this is an event. My business is inclusive. It's for everyone.
Absolutely.
And even within that, I'm going to make sure that there is visibility, that there's representation.
And it's going to be obvious. It is obvious already.
Well, and you have to tell me what you think about this, because I feel like sometimes when you are a business owner and you make any attempt at all to be inclusive, it actually scares people. They freak out because they think that the inclusivity is excluding them. And that's not what it is.
Right, right.
It's, there's enough to go around for everyone.
Absolutely.
And that's what you're doing. You're bringing in all walks of life, all ethnicities, all different types of cultures will be represented in some some fashion.
We have plans.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm excited about that because once again, it's different. It's unique. It's unique to what we know, what we usually see.
Yeah.
And it's necessary. It's just necessary, and it's time. It's time. We have to move on. Yeah.
It's been time. So this is interesting because we almost started talking about this before the show, and I was like, wait, let's talk about it on air, because I have a bad habit of getting excited when guests come, and I just want to start talking right off the bat. But we were discussing how it's almost not normal for someone who has a background like yours in medicine, right, to be doing something that is also highly creative. And a lot of the guests that I have on this show are creatives. And we always talk about, that right brain, left brain dichotomy and how that manifests in people. So you're like a prime example of this. So how does it feel like to you, like viscerally? How do you feel being someone who is operating on almost what we would consider opposite spectrums? Like, do you feel like it makes you crazy at times?
Sure.
Do you feel like that's the sweet spot and it's where you should be? Like, how do you process?
Right now, it's not the sweet spot.
Right.
I'm trying to find the sweet spot. So before I dipped my toes into the wedding industry, I don't know, I lived a pretty normal, chill life, but something was missing. And now I'm able to tap into my creativity, and I mean it when I say I have more meaning to life now.
Yeah.
And life is way more exciting because I'm able to use my full brain and live to my full potential. There's just something about creating. And I'm glad. I just need to find a good middle ground because right now it's really trying.
Yeah.
And I'm like not sleeping as much because I still work, and so it's before work, and then after work. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So.
But this is real because I think the other thing that happens, you're glamorous, right? And
Thanks.
then people will hear the industry and that's glamorous, but being an entrepreneur is
Catch me on a weekend. It's not glamorous.
Well, but it's and that's the reality is like you have to unplug. Absolutely. You have to de-stress. So what do you do to make space where you can just you don't have to be on, you don't have to talk to anybody? Do you hike? Do you cook? What are your things
so 2 things.
Okay. Uh-oh. Dun, dun, dun.
So I'll start with a really fun one.
Okay.
God of War, Ragnarok.
Oh, really? I would not have guessed it. I love it.
I am into RPGs. I love my PlayStation. I grew up on that. My brother and I, we would play. I was his navigator. I would play. And now my husband and I play.
Oh, that's so cool.
And right now, I am knee deep in God of War.
Really?
It's serious business. Yeah.
Okay.
I know, it's such a violent game.
No, but... But that helps you get out that aggression.
Yeah.
It's no different than going to the gym and punching,
right.
Going boxing and punching the punching bag. You have to get... We all have a
innocent.
little... Yes. You're that's what I'm telling myself.
Yeah. So that's I love video games.
Yeah.
And then, of course, gardening. Girl, I love my garden. I'm already thinking about what we're going to do this week and me and my plants. So I love gardening. I love having my hands in the soil. I feel closer to God. That's my... I have, anytime, but that's my time with God. I can think and pray and all that good stuff. Yeah. And then, of course, I grow amazing things. I'm really good at it.
Really?
Oh, girl, I won second place in the tomato contest this year.
What?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I'm here for it. I really believe strongly that all of our communities would be greatly enhanced if we just knew how to grow some of our food. Girl. It doesn't have to be all because it's not easy, but there is something very powerful.
Absolutely. There's freedom in it. I was just reading that book. Oh, now it escapes me. But when our ancestors came over on the boat, what did they do? They braided seeds in their hair because they knew that was freedom. And when I think about that, I get so emotional because...
Yeah. Oh, now you're going to get me started. It's powerful.
It's so powerful.
It's sovereignty.
It's liberating. and it's important. And so our whole front yard, it's a food forest. Absolutely, I play zero games. Yeah, because it's important.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
No, it's okay. It's okay. And, you know, I think maybe I've done 16, 17 shows now, and I've had to stop myself from crying on like half of them.
It's just.
But do you need.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm fine.
I was going to say, we can get our intern to get you a tissue. Okay.
Yeah, it's important, and I think about the food deserts. I think about even when I first started gardening, like what you don't know. And it's really easy to just grow your own food. And you think about the COVID pandemic too. Yeah. And like how many people went hungry, but they don't know.
There's that barrier to information, the lack of access.
That's another whole thing with San Antonio. You know, there's the access. It's important. And I think some folks are working on it, but we definitely, that's a push too. That's a whole other story. But
I'm glad to hear you. No, production, can we get a tissue? I don't even know if they can hear us back there. They moved offices, so they used to be out here.
It's good.
Yeah, can we get a tissue? Thank you. Thank you. No, it's okay. Listen, first of all, okay, you know, we're Black women. We feel things. We feel everything.
We have emotions, y'all.
Yeah, so it is okay. Like, and I, actually, this is something that I would like to talk to you about too, because you are, it's like literally a paper towel. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's fine. Oh my gosh. We need proper Kleenex. They're here somewhere.
It's okay.
But it's so important for us to know. It's okay. There's people know there's other humans in the studio. It's fine.
Thank you.
This doesn't just all pop up magically. I think it's important for us to be able to cry.
Yeah.
It is important for us to be able to laugh. It is important for us to be able to be loud and not be silenced, because loud doesn't mean aggressive.
Thank you.
Doesn't mean violent. It doesn't mean, you know, we're very spirited people. And that spirit, that high spirit, which is a gift, is what allows us to do some of the things that we do with such excellence that other people try to emulate.
Yeah, it's true.
And so that crying is not a weakness. It's just passion, and it's love, and you clearly feel very strongly.
I love gardening. Yeah. And then I apologize, and I always tell my girl Mercedes, I'm sure she's watching.
Hi, Mercedes.
We're not supposed to apologize. Like, we apologize for too much. So I don't apologize for crying.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. Our ancestors went through a lot.
Yeah.
And we're here because of them, and we're stronger because of them.
Absolutely. So, How did you get started? Because I'm sure most people would look at you and be like, "Oh, she's cute," and no one would ever imagine you had your like hands in the dirt.
Oh my God! And it gets rowdy out there. My husband's like, "You're still out. It's getting dark. I need you to come in." Gosh, we were living at another house, and I don't know. My dad gardens.
Oh, okay.
He loves his collard greens.
Me too. I can eat collards every day.
Yeah, my mom definitely did some gardening. My grandparents as well. They had some land, did some gardening.
Okay.
So I think I really think it's in all of us too.
Yeah.
And Black farmers and Black farming is very important because we need to get our land back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. We had Danielle Campbell-Steens. I don't know if you know her. She owns San Antonio Ballet School.
Oh, yes.
Or Academy. Ooh, I don't want to mess up the name. No, it is San Antonio Ballet School. And she was talking about her husband is a farmer.
Yeah.
And it's like, we don't even see that as much. No. It used to be very commonplace, but because of the way, you know, because of land grants and how land was distributed, you know, we don't really see a lot of that in our community. No. So it's just so refreshing to hear anybody talking about growing their own food and being able to sustain and feed themselves.
Absolutely.
I think it's really beautiful.
Yes.
So you said I'm so surprised by the video games. And but it's cool. It's cool. And then you're gardening. So what do you and your husband do together? Like, y'all have a thing you do together?
We eat.
Oh, yes, I'm here for it.
We eat. He cooks. Oh, he's such a good cook.
Oh, you hit the jackpot.
He's wonderful.
Yes.
He's a really good husband. Yeah, I know. I know I did. I think I just told him this the other day. I'm like, I'm so blessed to have you.
Yes.
Yeah, he communicates really well. Of course, we're a couple, so we have our tiffs, you know, whatever. But
it's normal.
Yeah, he's supportive.
Yeah.
And he's just really nice. Yeah. And he's a good cook.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think like every woman dreams about like, okay, if I get married, am I going to have to cook every day or is my man going to be able to cook too? That is a really big thing. It's important.
Yeah. And he goes grocery shopping.
What?
I know.
So what's your husband's name?
Nick,
we need you to host a camp, okay? We'll set it up.
Oh man, and he makes some like really difficult dishes. So
That is so cool. That is very cool.
Yeah.
So do you prefer to like eat at home or do you like to go out too or
I mean, I do enjoy going out. I really like being at home.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be more conscious too because
yeah.
I'm trying to be sustainable and
Right.
yes, I want to help the economy, but also I don't want to do too much.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's a tightrope walk.
Yeah,
It's
I don't
kind
like
of
Did I mess up my? Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, I think your microphone
Hit it.
moved a little bit.
I hit
It's
my
okay.
microphone.
It's fine. So you're talking about being sustainable and being conscious, and that is a conversation we have here at the show a lot. So I love that when I complimented you on your dress, you were like, "It's Goodwill."
Oh yeah, no
Because
shame.
I do that too,
Right?
and things are changing a little bit where people are more comfortable saying that they got something from, a thrift store
There's nothing
consignment.
wrong with that. Yeah.
No. So were you always that way, or is that something that you kind of cultivated later in life, or?
Yeah, no, I think I've always been this way. I love a sale, and I don't like to spend money, and I like to save money, even though I'm spending money even if it's on a sale. But
Right. You just
I
like to spend less.
Yeah, I like to spend less money.
Right.
My husband likes for me to spend less money.
Right.
But also, once again, if I don't like the look of support local, but I'm wearing Gucci and Prada.
Right.
What are you talking about? Like support local, like go
Right.
support local or give back, right? Because Goodwill, you buy from them, you're actually helping an individual.
Right.
But also in the beginning, I've had some friends stop telling people that you got that from thrift or Goodwill.
Nope.
There's no shame in my game.
None at all.
And I don't want even kids to grow up thinking that we're poor because we shop at Goodwill or there's something wrong shopping at Goodwill. There's absolutely nothing wrong shopping at Goodwill or thrifting.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. And there's so many different places you can shop, even outside of Goodwill. There's,
Right.
I mean, just in San Antonio alone, like I can think of, 25, 30
Buffalo
great.
Exchange.
Yeah. We were talking about Texas thrift earlier.
Texas
and
thrift
it's
is
funny
good.
because I have found amazing garments
Right?
that people, they may even have the tag on them still.
Absolutely.
And it's like, oh, okay.
And there's a story, and I like that too. I don't shop at pawn shops anymore. I used to.
Right.
Like, go figure. But there's a story, and I'll never know, but there's a story about the person that owned this.
Right.
And to me, that's intriguing.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
It comes with baggage. And that's like good baggage. I don't know.
And
Yeah.
I think it's important to just be conscious of what we are consuming, like from an energetic standpoint, because we can we're women, we like to look a certain way,
Sure.
but also at what cost? Like, what is the trade-off? Like, what are we trading of ourselves to look a certain way? Like, of course, there's money, but then money is time, right? And then time is something else. Like, what are you giving up?
Right.
So I think it's important for people to just think. You don't have to like stop shopping at certain store,
right.
whatever works for you, but just think about it. Like before you run to the mall, pause and say, can I go to a little boutique instead?
Yeah, and that's a whole thing in itself. Like being practical. We're Black women. We need to save our money. Like we need to be money conscious. We need bank accounts and high yielding savings accounts and our 401ks. I love your Prada shoes, girl.
Right.
But I'm gonna need you to save some money for later down the line. Yeah, that's important.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's also something that, because of barriers and lack of access to information, sometimes we don't get that until later in life.
Yeah.
So I just want to, impress upon our audience, like, it's okay if you learn late, because not everyone has that information. Yeah, no, same. Not everyone knows. I was discussing with a friend of mine recently about buying stock, and he was like, I didn't really get it figured out until I was like in my 40s.
Yeah.
And some people would say that with shame, but it's like, it's literally better late than never.
It is better late than never. Could you imagine if we knew more?
Girl,
if
we'd be running things. Yeah. But that's kind of the point, that there is the knowledge that if we had more of this information, we would be running things.
Knowledge is so powerful.
We'd be running institutions and government. So of course, let's not have everyone has equal access to information. So that's a whole other show.
Yeah, it is.
But you were talking about you do like to thrift and save, and you like to give back. I wanted to kind of like loop back around.
Yes.
I made a mental note. So the organization that your wedding experience is benefiting and part of those proceeds are going to, would you talk a little bit about that? Because I don't even know everyone would know.
Oh,
what?
Angie's Angels.
Yeah.
Okay, so Angie's Angels, Angie Lozano, she is Angie's Angels Foundation.
Right.
And I called her up because who was it that told me about her? One of my good friends mentioned her to me. And I immediately got on her website, and she raises funds for kids with cancer. It is, and she hosts like fashion shows. She is amazing. Yeah. And I mean, what a cause to get behind. And I know it's like bridal and no. I'm proud that we're working with her. Yeah. She does a lot, and she has a good soul and a good heart, and she's doing everything she can for these kiddos and even teenagers and adults too with cancer. Yeah, really anything. If you need something, Angie's going to help you. Angie's going to figure it out. Yeah. Absolutely.
And as a business owner, and the reason why I wanted to loop around and ask you about that is because, being a business owner is hard. And, doing any type of event is hard. It's a lot of work. And the thoughtfulness of saying, okay, I worked my butt off. This is my yield. And then I'm going to take some of this and I'm going to share it. I think it's just important for us to be very mindful of, when we are, I guess I can use the word blessed to share that.
Right.
Because it does come back to you. That's not the reason for it.
No, but it does. Yeah.
But it does come back to you. So I think it's just you're a good example for other business owners to just think about sharing a little bit. Doesn't mean you give things away. You don't give everything away.
No, please don't.
You pay yourself.
That's bad business.
Yeah, you pay yourself. But, speaking of bad business, I think all entrepreneurs have kind of learned the hard way.
Oh my gosh.
Like, when did you learn to pay yourself? I'm curious.
Oh my gosh.
Because that's a hard one. That's a rough lesson.
Later than I would have liked. And when you first start, you hear, well, you're new. You got to do a lot of stuff for free. So you get the folks that are like, oh, let me call her and I'm going to get it for free because she's new in exposure. Guess what, guys? Exposure doesn't pay the bills. It doesn't. And I don't play that game. Yeah. So
say it again.
No, we don't play that game. My models are paid either in cash or they're going to get something that they don't like. Everyone's
compensated.
Paid. Everyone's compensated. Yes. Everyone's compensated. And it's like, I don't play games. We just don't play games. Yeah. And that's what I want. I want people to say, oh my gosh, Larissa's doing this. Definitely work for her because she pays. She doesn't play games. Right. I don't. And anyone right now could tell you the same thing. I just don't. Yeah.
No, but that's setting, it's interesting because your company, one of your companies or your umbrella company is the floral standard, but you're also setting a standard in the industry.
I hope so.
People do come to small business owners, and I even am reluctant to use the word small because nothing you're doing is really small, but people will come to small business owners and say like, hey, why don't we just collaborate? And it's like, what are you really asking me for? Yeah. So
no, for free.
It's
and it's really insulting. It's like you're putting your hand in my pocket and just taking money out of it. Like, we have bills to pay. And running a business is not cheap.
No, not at all.
No, it's not. Having custom gowns made is not cheap. Like, and we put our heart and our soul and our time, and we sacrifice time with our families. Don't ask me, especially not now. Right. Don't ask me for anything for free.
Yeah. Like the elders used to say, stop playing in my face. I have two aunts who used to
free doesn't happen anymore. Yeah.
But no, that's good that how did you gather the courage though, like to get to that point? What was your and it doesn't have to be like anything specific.
Oh no,
with
I
names
wouldn't.
Okay,
I wouldn't give any specifics, of course, but you know who you are. No, I'm just kidding. No. I think it was just like oh shoot, okay, I can't do this anymore. Yeah, it was last year, and I did something big, and we're talking thousands of dollars, and I didn't get what I didn't get. Girl, I didn't get what I deserved. And I put myself out there. I am going to go all the way for you.
Right.
And no, I did not get anything in return. So
it's
no
a
more.
hard lesson.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad to hear you talk about it because it's the reality.
Yeah.
I really feel like almost every entrepreneur that I know personally, so obviously that's like a small sample of the world's population, but I know quite a few entrepreneurs, and that's a hard lesson and a hard, it's challenging.
It is. And being a woman, let's be serious, right? Being a woman, a Black woman, whatever society, I mean, I'm 34 years old. Society's just been in our face about how we can act and respond. Right. And I literally have this internal dialogue. Okay, how do I say no? Do I text like LOL, haha, to like soften it? I don't do that anymore. It's a no and it's a period. Like, I don't have time. And even it still happens every now and then, and I kind of check myself. But in the beginning, I can't say no to this. Like, if I say no to this, they're gonna think, and those people don't have any pull anyway. Right. Like, really look into these folks that say that they support local, and then they turn around, they ask you for something for free. Right. Girl.
Yeah, those two things don't go together.
It happens all the time. Yeah. And then if you actually look at what they're doing, it's all about them. And I don't like those platforms. It's all about them.
It's more about the individual than the collective or the community.
There's no collaboration. It's all about them. Yeah. And I'm not going to do that. It's going to be a collaborative effort. It's going to be about us. Yeah. And, you know, my personal page, of course, as well as me. But, I want to collaborate with everybody. I want to collaborate with everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a way to do it where it really is a collaboration. It's a joint. I always kind of liken it to this. Like, if you're collaborating, it should be like a bank account, and this person's making a deposit, and it can't work if one person's making all the deposits and then someone else is taking, you know, all of the withdrawals. Like that is, there's imbalance, and it's never going to work.
And we have to have difficult conversations as people in general, entrepreneurs, business owners, whatever. We have to have difficult conversations. Yeah. And just have them. Just have the conversation. Just get it over with. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, like, they respect you for that, and they get it, and it's okay. Yeah. And sometimes I'm surprised. I'm like, oh my God, they took that so well. Yeah. Because once again, society, it's like, no, I can speak up and it's fine. But it's how you do it. Right. Communication, effective communication.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'm curious, like, what do you see yourself doing? Because I absolutely can sense that you are an idea person and a thinker. And truly you are a visionary. So what do you see yourself doing in like 10 years? Like, if you could just... Because I'm really big on speaking things into fruition. So it doesn't even have to be like realistic, because I think sometimes realistic holds us back. Right. So what do you see, 10 years from now for, and it can be personally, professionally, whatever.
Well, professionally. The ultimate wedding experience, the brand, I mean, we're going to spread. We're not going to just stay in San Antonio. We're going to move to different states, tour, all that good stuff. But I foresee not just the event, but the wedding planning platform. It's still very personalized, but for multiple cities, right? And the event in multiple cities, and these styled shoots. I'm going to put a lot of work into San Antonio, hosting these haute couture, bridal, high fashion styled shoots for the community to come in, but really bringing in that fashion and that bridal. I think the brand is just going to grow, really. And we'll just expand out. Yeah.
And I can see you being a driving force and the work that you're doing sort of trickling out to the rest of the industry. Yeah. Because we are in the South, too. And there's something to be said for that very, like, genteel Southern aesthetic and sensibility when it comes to weddings. But I think it needs some pushback.
I love the barns. I love the boots. Right. I love the horses. Right. But
but we can
move away from rustic, guys. Yeah. Just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah.
There was I was watching an episode of Say Yes to the Dress, and there was a woman, and I cannot remember the bridal designer, but I almost fell out of my chair because the dress that she chose was black and white stripes. I mean, huge stripes. It almost looked like a wallpaper or like a tapestry for, upholstery or something. and it was like a heavy Duchess satin, and it was very fitted and had all of these like structural, like architectural kind of like ribbon. It was amazing, and everyone in the salon like turned and looked at her like she had 3 heads because she was trying on this black and white dress. And I just remember thinking, like, I can't wait until the day that that's the norm.
Seriously.
Like, I'm just waiting for the day when it's just like, oh, wow, she looks fabulous. And that's it. Not.
And it's like, okay, white originated because of wealth. And then it kind of went to the whole virginity thing. Oh, my gosh.
And it's really modern. Like, I think in the last, like, 200 years, maybe even less than that. It's not like a time-old tradition that we have to uphold.
We don't have to.
If we choose to, that's fine. Yeah. But it's just good to see that you're kind of injecting some flavor,
a lot,
and some diversity on multiple levels.
I think it's going to be like shocking. I'm interested to see. Well, I'm interested to see how the community responds. Like when we finally post our spring shoot. Yeah. I wonder how they'll take it. If we actually get a lot of photographers, I don't know. We're still going to host it, but I'm interested to see the response.
Yeah. This is exciting. Yeah. So this is more of like a personal question, and I didn't put this in the list that I sent you. So if you want to like veer away from it, we can. I don't want to put you on the spot.
You're
but
fine.
When I see you, like you're so bubbly and effervescent, and you have all this energy. Do you plan on being a mother one day? Is that okay to ask?
That's fine to ask.
Okay.
Yeah.
I should have checked before, but I was like,
oh God, yeah. I am so chill. I'm so easy to talk
to.
I probably like give more information. Right. Yeah. No. My husband and I, we're not trying yet, but we definitely plan on to. Yeah. And I don't know if my boss is watching, because as soon as I get pregnant, I'm out of there.
Peace.
And I think they know that. They're like, oh, we don't want to lose such a good employee. Yeah, no, but motherhood. My mom was a stay-at-home mom, and she's done a wonderful job. My brother and I, we grew up. Goodness, we had a great upbringing because mom was home, and I think that's important. Of course, I'll still have my business.
Of course,
right?
Yeah.
But I think it's important. That's the way I feel, anyway. Yeah. I have time at home with our children or child, and once again, I'm blessed. My husband has a great career. Yeah. And we're going to be fine. Right. Yeah. So
the reason why I ask that is because I do get, even though, I mean, I knew you weren't a mother yet, but I do get like a sort of matronly.
I'd be so good as a mom.
No, you would. Like I get this warm quality from you. I'm like, she'd be a great mom. Yeah. But also the reason why I asked as well is because I think, I've had conversations with other guests about having it all, right? Like, what does it look like to have it all? Can you have it all? Is it worth even trying to have it all?
It depends on what it all means to you.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. And me, it means a couple of acres that we're looking at and a garden. I joke around, but I mean it. If you can't find me, girl, I'm off in the woods. Like, I'm gone. Bye. I will be in the garden. I want honeybees. I'm going to get bees. I promise you I'm going to get bees. If I don't get bees this spring, I'm getting honeybees. Yeah. I'm a woman of nature. Like, I just want to be outside. Right. Yeah. Right. And, if I have to say bye-bye to the UWE, like, I'll sell it to someone. But I want to be with nature. That's what I want. Yeah. This whole city and it's too much. Right. I like
you feel like it's dense? Like
it is. It's like, it is a rat race, and everyone's trying to see what you're doing and kind of one up in this, and I'll do it for a few more years. Right. Yeah. Right. And then I'm going to be out in the woods. Yeah.
But no, I think that's really cool, because there are ideas that, like, when you are a professional woman specifically, you have to choose. Like, you have to choose mother,hood, or you have to be a professional, and there's no way to make them work.
Right. And it's just, everyone's situation's different.
Absolutely.
I thank God I don't have to choose. I mean, I don't. And so I will choose our daughter, because we're going to have a girl, obviously.
Right. You're like, I'm already claiming it.
and my bees. And of course, I still need my PlayStation and God of War.
Yeah.
And I choose that. Yeah. Right. So, yeah, we're just in a good spot. Yeah. But, if I had to, or if I didn't really have the choice and I had to stay working, I'll stay working. We'd work it out. Yeah. But that's what I want. That's having it all is for me.
For you.
Yeah, for me. Yeah. Which you would not even guess. Girl, I drive a truck.
But listen, there's reasons why I'm asking you the questions that I'm asking you, and that is because one of my hopes for my sisters is that we understand that we are truly multifaceted, very deep human beings.
We are.
And so, the external may look a certain way, but that doesn't mean that we don't contain multitudes. And so it's important to me that we don't take snapshot judgments of one another and that we allow each other to be and don't pigeonhole. Because obviously, yes, you're fabulous. Like, that's not, but that's not like something that someone can argue. They can't be like, oh, she's not. No, you're fabulous. However, you can also grow your own food. You're just talking about honeybees and putting your hands in the dirt.
This, honestly, like, this isn't me.
Right. It's a part of you. It's like a sliver.
Right.
It's a facet.
It's very
Can you grow okra? What is the secret? Hold on. I'm sorry. My brain just was like, ask her about
okra. I can grow all the okra, and I will grow it for you. Girl, I can grow all the okra.
So do you start? I literally just was like on one train, and my brain just jumped track.
That's what we do, and I'm following you. It's fine.
So what is your secret for good okra? And I'm surprised that there's people that don't even like okra. I'm like, how?
Delicious.
I'm like, it's a gift from God.
It is. Yeah.
But do you start it? Like, when do you start planting your okra?
So okra loves the heat.
The heat, yeah.
It thrives in the summer. They don't care about you and the sun. You can like leave that thing alone. Okra, I would start okra for seeds. I would start inside. I would start inside in January if you wanted to.
Okay.
You want to put it out after the last frost. If you do transplants and whatever, just put them out after the last frost. If there's going to be a frost, just cover it. I play games. I don't care if there's the last frost. You're still going outside. Right. I'm going to protect you. Right. But okra does really well here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can grow okra.
Yeah. I think I just started too early. Too early. Because when I tried last year, I think I started in... Was it March? It was after spring. I think it was like March
March
April.
Should have been fine.
And I don't know what happened, but it just didn't quite turn out the way I wanted.
We may have had a cold snap.
I don't remember. It's Texas, so there's no telling. But I just remember like,
it was a weird season. Yeah, that season was weird.
Well, I mean, it's weird right now. Today it was like 80 degrees outside, and we walked into the studio, and I'm like, it's freezing in here. And our producer was like, well, it's like summer outside, so that's why the AC's up.
Yeah. Texas.
But I was just curious. My brain was like, ask her about okra.
Yeah, okra's great. Easy.
Now, do you get into like canning and preserves and all that too?
I don't have the time. My mom knows how, and I remember growing up and her doing it. Holy smokes, that's a lot of work. It's hot and you're all sweaty in the cans, and then you need to make sure there's no bacteria. Like, forget that. Work. I need to learn because that is important, though.
It's
for survival.
It's a dying art form, and I remember I used to make fun of like preppers.
Nah.
And
it's not funny anymore.
Let's just say I don't make fun of them anymore. Between several major events,
they were fine.
I'm learning how to do some of the things that our ancestors and our grandmothers and our aunties, they all did. Like, it was no big deal. Yeah. I'm learning how to do those
It's
things
huge.
again.
I save seeds, and like I'll send seeds off to whoever.
Yeah.
But canning, no. And I'll dry like my herbs and whatnot, peppers. But girl, I don't know how to can. I need to ask my mom.
No, it's. I mean, maybe she could do a workshop, Mom, if you're watching.
Yeah, she can do a workshop. I'm not gonna ask her. She can do a workshop.
Mama Leath or everything. No, it is. It's intense. It's major work.
It is. Yeah.
So okay, normally, every show I get this feeling like I think we have 5 minutes left. We're supposed to have a little countdown thing, but I don't know where it is. So I'm just gonna keep talking until he pops his head out. So. I know that you were born in Spain and you've been in Texas a while now. Is it? I knew it. I knew he was going to pop up 5 minutes. I have an internal clock. It's the weirdest thing. I'm like, I feel like we have. So I'm just curious. Is Texas like, I know that the ultimate wedding experience is absolutely going to travel.
Right.
Do you feel like Texas is your place? Do you see you relocating somewhere else one day?
Right. So from a financial point of view, Texas is a good place to live, aside from like the last couple of months with the inflation.
Right.
But the cost of living here is good, and we don't have is it a state tax? We don't have a state tax, and we're also on our own grid. So, Texas is a good place. I know we don't have all the fun stuff like LA, but it's regarding like money,
Mm-hmm.
it's a good place to live.
Yeah.
Because you can afford to have a specific lifestyle and still like travel and see the world.
Right.
It's, if you look at it from that point of view.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're more of the like hustle and bustle, New York and LA, Texas is not for you.
No. Yeah.
But from a financial standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here.
So this is where you've planted your roots.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That was so corny.
And I'm gonna bloom. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. I think so. I do not foresee us leaving.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. No, that's good to know. I think we could definitely use your energy and your verve and your light and your magic. So because we only have a few minutes left, let's go ahead and tell everyone where they can find you, like your socials.
Yeah.
And then also, I don't think we actually got to the date of the ultimate wedding experience. So I'll just let you have the last few minutes and you can tell us all the things.
So the ultimate wedding experience, the main event is actually March 5th, 2023 at the Whitty Museum. It's a Sunday. It starts at 12. And if you know anyone that wants a free vow renewal, email us it's info@theultimateweddingexperience.com. I know it's long, but
no, it's okay.
It's branding and it's going to stick with you.
info@theultimateweddingexperience.com.
Or you can DM me. That's fine too. Tickets are on sale. It is a ticketed event. Obviously, proceeds do go to Angie's Angels. And of course, we have to cover the cost of the specialty alcohol drinks and the food. But it's completely worth it. I think tickets are actually still $75 right now. We're probably going to run some specials later, kind of, up and down with the pricing. And then I think we are planning the Ultimate Wedding Showdown, which is where you can win a free micro wedding and like a lot of other good things and giveaways. We might change the date just because it's a little too close to the Ultimate Wedding Experience.
Got it. But let it breathe.
Right. But look out for that as well. And I might change that date actually tonight. So there's a lot of things going on. Definitely just stay tuned to the Ultimate Wedding Experience. We're not just an event. We're a blog. We're a platform to plan your wedding. We're here to give back to the community. There's giveaways. I mean, we're gonna do it all. There's styled shoots. So just stay in touch for sure.
And I'm thinking, as I'm listening to you talk about all of this, I feel like the event, the Ultimate Wedding Experience, you don't even necessarily have to be a bride or a groom or planning a wedding. I mean, I know women that go to brunch and spend over $75 on mimosas and brunch.
Right.
And this would be a fun way to get together and experience it. So maybe when that day does come, you'll have some ideas that are like crystallized of what you want to experience for your wedding. So it doesn't have to be like, oh, do you have a 2023 wedding on the books? No, I think it would be fun for like women to get together as a group of girls and just go.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
So the ultimateweddingexperience.com. And are you on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok? Everything is the Ultimate Wedding Experience.
Yeah, everything.
Okay.
Everything, the Ultimate Wedding Experience. I think like on Facebook, it's Ultimate Wedding Experience, and Instagram too. I think it's Ultimate Wedding Experience. With the website, the Ultimate Wedding Experience.
Okay.
Yeah, but all the links are there.
Okay, awesome.
You just look for the pink diamond.
Pink diamonds. We love it. And on that note, thank you so much for being
Thanks
here.
For having me.
And thank you for your warmth and your bubbly effervescence and all of that. And for coming. This is, when I decided to do this show, I just wanted it to be a place where we could be real.
For sure.
And we don't have to fake the funk, because we have to do that sometimes. And it gets exhausting.
Yeah, it is.
And it's taxing. And I just wanted this to be a space where we could just be ourselves and also pop our collar a little bit and brag on each other and give one another our flowers. Yeah. And crying is always okay. I'm an advocate. Everybody that knows me will tell you, like, I will cry.
Yeah.
So it's okay. So you all look for the pink diamond. Look for Ultimate Wedding Experience. Larissa, thank you so much for being here. You are a joy. I am rooting for you.
Thank you.
And
I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for everybody.
Thank you. Okay, see? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that was wonderful. I could have talked to you for